Good morning to everyone who's watching this week. Today is December 4th. It is about 5:30 in the morning. And we got some cold days in New Jersey these days. But today I'm just going to be very frank and very candid. Not like I'm really not in the past, but we're going to talk about something that was kind of important because after all I've been doing for the past 26 weeks, I finally decided to take a break. Okay, I took a vacation for a week and took my eyes off of my motivations and off of my goals. Okay, and some of this I did intentionally. Nothing came to me or came at me by mistake, or there was nothing that occurred that, threw me off my game. I mean, I just hit an amazing milestone last week. Okay, that's where I had gotten the 50 pounds done before my 50th birthday. Okay, and I knew I was going to head into a pretty difficult week as far as temptations and motivations were concerned, because on Wednesday, the very next day, was Thanksgiving. Okay, and I will say that when I had Thanksgiving this year, and I think I had done the same thing last year as well, I was very modest with anything that I partake of. Okay, I only had like the one plate, hardly had any appetizers at all. I think I had like one cheese and one cracker. I made myself one drink that I had during the meal. And I did have one small slice of pie, a nice peanut butter chiffon pie, which is a favorite among the DeNoia clan. But it was a modest day, especially considering that one meal was actually two meals, because we're the kind of people that do our holiday at like 2 or 3 in the afternoon. So that was lunch and dinner for the day. So I'm not even going to say that I went off the wagon on Thanksgiving. It was pretty good. Saturday was my birthday. So, and again, didn't do too much. We eventually went out to eat at a local place, because I know they serve those large Bavarian pretzels, which my youngest is a huge fan of. So I wanted to go there for him for that. Plus, we were gonna do just something for me. My wife was begging me all day, tell me what you want for dinner. I know if I have to go out and buy it and then prepare it, I need time. Please tell me, tell me, tell me. And there was really nothing in my mind that I wanted. So eventually I was like, we'll go out to eat. No problem. You know. But for the most part, those were 2 days of 7. But I know that I consciously made the decision to just, relax, maybe have some leftovers that were in the fridge that were, maybe pasta oriented or whatever else. But I just took a week to almost revert to form, which is a different problem I'll go into in a minute. But just, I didn't make it my main focus, you know. And I know for the longest time I was actually hitting myself with, you know, every single week was either a loss on the scale or it was 0 for 1 week. It was absolutely nothing changed whatsoever. It was 0. And I think that was episode 37, my 14th shot, where I was exactly even, you know. But all good things come to an end. But it kind of was like, Cal Ripken Jr. after he was playing 2,000 plus baseball games in a row. After he broke the record, eventually he was like, listen, I'm not just doing this for the record anymore. And he sat a game. He didn't have to. He just did. So the people were no longer coming to the stadium just to see that next game in the hopes it'll be his last one, And there's probably more online. You can go follow that story if you wished to know further about it. But for me, it was like, listen, let me just relax. I just hit that major milestone. I just want to just be me for a little bit. Now, that means that this week's scale has me at 239.3, where my last week milestone was at 235.1. So the week actually added 4 pounds to my scale. Okay. Technically, this should no longer be a thing. okay, this was my 50-pound charm. I could probably take this off and put it to the side. I most likely will not make a big to-do about it when I get back there. And I have no reason to believe that I won't get back there. Okay? It was literally something I possibly was doing to self-sabotage and like subconsciously. But in the meantime, I was like, listen, I've been going at it for 6 months. And I do know that I did take a vacation a month ago or so, went over to Germany. But, I just, just chill out. Let me refresh, relax, and get back on the horse after that. So, and I believe that's exactly what I had done. Now, the thing that was most surprising to me was the fact that I was so easily able to revert to form, to go back to some older habits. And that just tells me that what I'm doing here isn't set in stone yet. It's almost like, I'm not going to say go back to an old girlfriend, but forget about that. But it's one of those things where I'm trying to make my changes and make my changes to be permanent changes, full lifestyle changes. In fact, it's interesting because on my computer where I keep all these files, I have a YouTube section, and I have in there new lifestyle. So each of these episodes is under that subfolder. But it hasn't really hit as the new lifestyle. Now, one thing that has happened is, I'm being active again, which is very important for everyone. I was even during the last week able to get out to the treadmill in the garage and do another session for like 45 minutes. And it was freezing out here. It was 30 degrees out in the garage when I was doing this. Actually, it was 30 degrees outside. My garage was colder. So, but I was able to do it. One thing that's concerning me, unfortunately, is while I'm doing this, I like to do an incline program, but I'm starting to get a pain in my right hip when I'm taking steps. And it takes a while for that pain to ebb and subside, so I'm going to have to get that looked at because, I don't think it's a hip thing, I think it's a muscle thing, but I need to get it looked at. But it is affecting my ability to make it ingrained to go do some like treadmill work and then be able to walk away without the aches and pains. And it's not the kind of aches and pains you get from soreness of working out. It's something acute that I have to get, resolved. But that's what I did this week. It literally was let me chill out, let me come and do whatever else. But the way I chilled out did allow the pounds to pop back on pretty fast. So I gave myself an interesting lesson in the hopes that I could, again, ingrain this more into the new me and not just, well, if I'm being very active at what I'm doing here, this will be fine. Okay. So I'm taking it in stride, and I kind of, in the course of the week from Wednesday through, last night, I had resigned myself that this was going to be the result. I think on late Saturday or early Sunday. I was like, could I go balls to the wall and try to get everything, perfect and down and whatever else? Yeah, but I think what was happening also was I did a few more midweek check-ins on the scale. And every single time I stepped on that scale, it was a pound more. And it baffled me because I didn't think there was any reason why that should be the case. But then again, I was doing it to myself, but I knew it wasn't I quit. I knew it wasn't I give up. And when I resigned myself on late Saturday, early Sunday, saying, hey, this is going to be the week that I actually go up when I haven't done before in the last 26 weeks, a different kind of calm kind of came over me saying, you're not going to beat yourself up. I'm not going to be like, oh my God, stupid, you can't do this. No, I know I can do this. I just did it. And the one thing that I was very happy about was I do know I have the confidence that this is only a 1 week event. Okay. I'm pretty sure I could possibly even get back under the 235.1 as of next week. You know? And that's exactly what I'm going to try to do. That's a new motivating goal, so to speak, is, just to say 1 week off and then go back to it. Okay? 1 second, please. Clickety click. All done. And still though, like I'm still getting compliments. More and more people are able to that I see, even when I go to the office a couple days a month. They're like, "Oh wow, I can totally see it. Doing a good job," and I get to have a nice conversation with them. There's another guy that does a lot of working out. He's kind of like a bodybuilding type of dude. And we get to talk about what I'm doing, what he's doing, and how we go from where we are to where we want to get to. So, I did not lose and fail in my effort this week. I literally just took a little vacation, which it's fine to do that. The things I'm not fine with, and this isn't me per se, but it's one of those things where people have a tendency, even if they're just, say going to Weight Watchers normally, whatever else, they like doing their cheat days every single week. It's like, well, listen, if you diet by reducing calories alone, okay, if you're trying to change your body chemistry, and say you're able to reduce 500 calories a day, okay, that's 3,500 calories a week, which they say is a pound, okay. But if you were to reduce 500 calories a day for 6 days, and then on the 7th day throw yourself an extra dessert as a cheat day, by that alone you just got rid of all your good efforts. Okay, which is why when people talk to me, I'm like, listen, I'm hitting this thing in 5 different scenarios. Okay, I am taking an injection, I'm watching my intake, I've dropped down my drinking significantly, I'm exercising, and I'm getting more oxygen at night taking the CPAP machine. Okay, now I'm going to get tested again in January, like I've said before. It's possible if I get another sleep study, the oxygen at night goes away because I don't need a machine to do it any longer. Okay, that might be something that helps me. It could be like I've now no longer need a medical assistance for that. Okay, and then the injection itself, I might have problems depending upon my insurance company. If I'm no longer diabetic, then I don't need the drug. But I think the thing is, if I'm no longer diabetic, it could be because of the drug. So by taking it away, it makes these videos a lot more difficult because I got to do it all myself now. But, that might be an issue too. So it'll just be diet, exercise, drinking. But again, I'm trying to get a new lifestyle. So I need to do this solely on my own. Another thing I'll say to my positive, and I was even mentioning this to my trainer yesterday, was when I saw him on Sunday, I noticed that my exercises that he was having me do were being done better. And I know I've been doing improvements along the way, but for instance, one of the things that we do is he has a little bench, okay? And I sit back on the bench, and I'll try to do this here. I sit back on the bench, and you got to keep my knees up in the air, which you really can't see with the height of the camera. But I'm doing twists. I have arms on this thing, and the twists are pretty much, I'm hitting the arm, sorry. But I'm twisting down and touching the bench, and then twisting the other direction and touching the bench. So I'm pretty much, doing my obliques and doing ab work. And the whole time you do this, you keep your knees up, all right? That was awkward, but I'm going to go with it. So you do that. So it's like, boom, 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 and you do what you got to do, all right? I was able to keep my knees high the whole time I did it on Sunday. Okay, which is, it makes the exercise itself a better exercise, and it also tells me that my strength is getting better as well because I'm able to, you know, keep that up. It's easy for your legs to just falter and fall down, especially as you go further and further if you do more and more reps within the same set. But I was able to, bam, keep the knees up and just sway with it as I was going side to side. So I know my exercises are going better. And in fact, he's keeping a good look on my form. Even yesterday, we did a lot of chest exercises. Okay. Now, a year ago, over a year, actually, it's about 2 years ago now. Yeah, I think it was February 2 years ago. When I was doing a small training at the gym with a different trainer, he was trying to have me do push-ups, and I had done them in a while. I had just gotten back to a trainer for the first time in God knows how long. So I was doing them, but he had me doing on my knees. After a while, I was like, no, I can do these normal. I'm like showing off in front of him. And then boom, I twinged something in my shoulder. I was like, God, that was stupid. All right, it's a gym. You get sore. It'll go away in 2 or 3 days. No problem. Although it didn't go away. And over the next months, when I was trying to do other over my shoulder exercises, this one would falter. It just wasn't really doing it. And it turned out I had a slap tear on a tendon. And I had to get surgery for that, which I did last August 30th, I believe. So it was one of those things where I did injure myself. It was probably just the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay. But, I can't do that motion until it's completely healed and strengthened. So when I've been seeing this guy, his name is Jab, by the way, he works out of Hamilton. When I've been seeing him, we've been doing like standing push-ups against a bar on the wall. And he's been slowly lowering the bar over the weeks, and now we're on the lowest setting. But even yesterday, as we're doing it, I was kind of like my arms were straight, and as I was going, my elbows were exactly parallel to me going out. And on the last set, he goes, I need you to do me a favor, though. I don't want you to do that. You got to come in. You got to not be out. You got to be in. And I was doing that. And I tell you what, it changed the exercise just by going from this to this. Okay, it's inches of my elbow going out there. But this was more of an arm. This was more chest, which is what a push-up does. And just by keeping it in a little bit, the form did it. And I finished that last rep. I think we did 8 at the time. We did 8, 8, 8. Because now I'm taking all body weight, and I do, it is still weak here in the shoulder. I've done very well with it. In fact, I almost forget the fact that I had surgery last year, but I'm doing well. So like I'm saying, on Sunday, just even keeping the knees up and doing that better was a confidence boost. It wasn't such a confidence boost. It was, I recognized it as something I'm able to do. And that's a very important thing. So again, it was one of those things that, I knew this was not going to be less than last week, but I know that I'm doing some things better. So it's a bad week from scales are concerned, but it was a good week from a perspective, knowledge of what I'm doing and not doing, and also knowledge of what I'm doing and not doing. So it's still a successful week in my mind, even though the one metric doesn't say so. So I still have my positivity. I know I'm going to bounce back from this immediately, and I look forward now to doing that for next week and just keep on going on. So that's all I have for you today. I hope this was able to tell you something. Let me know what you're thinking as well. Otherwise, I'll see you right back here in 1 week. Bye-bye now.